ayoko tong trabaho na to, ang baba ng sweldo. Hindi naman talaga responsibilidad ng boss nyo, ng opisina nyo na payamanin kayo. It's not their responsibility to make you rich. Save it, save it, save it, save it, save it, save it. Until what I was saving started to get bigger, 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 bigger. In this video, I want to address Gen Z and also millennials who are in the younger end. As you all know, millennial is a very, very broad range already of ages. There are people like me who are in the older end of being millennials, and there are millennials also who are in their 20s right now. So I just want to share what I did when I was starting out, because I've been getting a lot of people who were asking, what is an advice you would give your 15-year-old self? What is an advice you would give your 18-year-old self? I would just buy Apple stock. I would put everything that I had, all my savings when I was 15 years old, and put it in Apple stock. But I wouldn't want also to go the path where nanghihinayang tayo sa ginawa natin in the past. It's always about living in the present and deciding how to make your present better, which will later on impact your future. Now, that being said, I want to share what I did when I started out, how I was able to get out of the 9-to-5 job, the grind of being an employee, what were my steps, and what was my narrative on how I was able to do that. I graduated as an engineer, electronics and communications engineer. I took the board exam, passed it. Then after passing the board exam, I went into corporate. I was thinking about that since I graduated ECE. I could have gone the telecom route where some of my friends went to PLDT, some of them went to Globe, or I could have gone the broadcasting route. We could have also worked for ABS-CBN. My OJT, by the way, we were the one who set up, I think, the data/telco part of the Pinoy Big Brother house. That was around 2005. Or I could have gone also the electronics route, worked for Intel when Intel was still here. Or I could have gone also the IT route. Among all of those choices, the IT route was more, I think, appealing to me. I gusto ko yung naka-polo ko, naka-necktie ako na papasok sa office. And gusto ko naka-aircon lang ako. I didn't want really to go out and do a lot of work that na napapawisan. and that's why I also like stock trading, because you just have to be at home. It just fit me. One of the tips that I could give you if you are just starting out is, number one, you need to get a job first, especially for people that walang magbaback up sa inyo if things don't go the way you want it to be. If your parents won't support you, we have to come to a point where not everyone pantay-pantay yung pinanggagalingan natin, yung pinagsisimulan natin. There are people na their parents can already start funding their business, or if the business does not do well, they can still provide support, money, allowances, etc. But for some na you need to support yourself, you need money also na to help pay for the bills, to help pay for the Meralco na nangyayari sa bahay nyo, then it would be prudent to get a job. Why do I say you need to get a job? Because having a job gives you a steady source of income, and I think that's something that will help you and position you also, because aside from you earning, you are also building the skills necessary. People always fret na pag may trabaho sila, sinasabi nila, ayoko tong trabaho na to, ang baba ng sweldo. Hindi naman talaga responsibilidad ng boss nyo, ng opisina nyo na payamanin kayo. It's not their responsibility to make you rich. It's their responsibility to give you financial security. It's their responsibility to give you benefits. It's their responsibility to give you SSS, to contribute to that also, so you get some sort of an amount when you get older, and then they'll give you also health plans. That's their narrative, that if things go bad, you have this somehow hedge of protection also. So don't look at it as a way that bakit hindi ako yumayaman dito, because it's not the responsibility to make you rich. The responsibility for you to be rich should be on you. Sa school, nagbabayad yung magulang nyo para matuto kayo. Sa office, especially pag nagsisimula ka, binabayaran ka na, natututo ka pa. You're building experience for you to get bigger, better, stronger. As I started to realize na, teka, hindi ako yayaman dito I needed to make a framework that I would be faithful dun sa kung ano meron ako. And you have to write this down. If you're faithful with little, you will be faithful with much. If you're faithful with the small amount that you have, alam mo na gagawin pag dumami yun. So, I realized that I need to budget my money well, that every time sa sweldo na yun, I remember it was 16,500. I think I had to make sure na meron akong allowance. I had to make sure na meron akong pangbigay. I had to make sure also na meron akong pangbili rin ng damit, because if you're in the corporate, you have to wear something medyo corporate, and hindi naman pwede pare-pareho damit mo araw-araw also. At that time, I had nothing kasi galing ako, college graduate ako nun eh. I also had to make sure that I was saving money. Then I started to realize that yung sinisave ko, if I want it to be this big, kukulangin siya eh. Okay? So, please remember, the most important step that you would need to have is to have a budget first para malaman mo meron ka na parang pinanghuhugutan kung sakto ba tong sweldo mo o kulang. And at that time, no, my dreams to have assets were so big that naisip ko, kulang to eh. And that's when I realized that I needed to get side hustles. It's glamorized now as side hustles, pero I had to do businesses that would generate money for me so that whatever I got from those businesses, I would just continually save it, 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 until what I was saving started to get bigger, 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 bigger. And what I did at that time was this eh. While I was saving, I wasn't rushing to get rich. I wasn't rushing. Ano ba yung magandang business na pwede kong gawin? Saan ko lalagay ito? Anong franchise pwede kong paglagyan? Anong lalagay ko? Magsa-stock market na ba ako that time? I took my time eh. While I was saving that, and while I was doing those side businesses, I was already earning. So please remember, may salary ako to give me stability. Meron ako side businesses to give me extra. And please do note, lahat ng side businesses na yun, lahat ng extra na kinikita ko doon, hindi ko ginagastos. Hindi ko pinangbibili ng luho. Hindi ko pinangbibili ng ibang bagay na hindi ko masyado kailangan. Hindi ko binibili ng mga ibang bagay that katulad ng mga kaibigan ko at that time na nag-i-enjoy sila. So ako, I found the joy of building my craft. I found the joy of financial freedom first na never ako nainggit na nakita ko yung mga kaibigan ko na bakit sila Cebu Pacific trip pa ulit-ulit going out to local destinations. Cebu sila ng Cebu, Boracay sila ng Boracay, Puerto Galera sila. Bakit hindi ako sumasama doon? But my dream was much, much bigger. But while I was building that, I was already trying to learn. I was already trying to see where should I put it. So I tried to experiment, and that's what led me to insurance. That's what led me to mutual funds. That's what led me then eventually to the stock market. So if you notice my progression, it was parang katulad ng sinabi ni Rex Mendoza sa libro niya, firing at all cylinders. I was trying to be faithful as an employee, earning from employment income. But in the same time, I was on the defense, not spending yung money na nakuha ko. Meaning, as I started to earn, I budgeted it na nilalagay para sa akin sa panggastos ko, pero lahat na natitira, I would save it. Then I would get extra income to build those asset classes so that yun na yung pwede kong gamitin pang invest later on. Yun na rin yung pwede kong gamitin for me to have a larger base. And up until now, fast forward, I'm 37 years old right now. Of course, I haven't had a job since 2010, 2011, so almost a decade or more than a decade now. I have not done something like that for more than a decade. However, what I did was, yung sinesave ko 10 years ago, yung sinesave ko 14 years ago, yung ini-invest ko 14 years ago, I already had this notion, I already had this in mind that dadating yung point that yung goal ng mga tinabi ko, sila dapat yung pwedeng pumalit nung trabaho ko sa office. And that's the goal. And I think that's what financial freedom is. Financial freedom is you having enough savings, assets, or investments that it should be enough that if you choose not to be employed, you can stop anytime. If you like the value of freedom that you can stop whenever you like, you can do what you want, I highly suggest be an investor or do businesses. Then you give up that job already if you think that you are okay without working, you are okay without being an employee, and you have enough to be able to take care of you. If there's one thing that was so inherent about everything, even when I was starting, it was my mindset. I never thought that I was poor. I never thought that kulang ako. I always saw myself as a person that what you see inside, it will be a reflection of what you do in the outside. How you believe will impact how you think and how you also act. So if you think you are poor, guess what? You will do the things that poor people are doing. But if you know deep inside that your provision is God, that if you know deep inside that your success is not wrapped up kung saan ka nanggaling, gano'ng katalino, but because there's purposes and plans that God has for you, you're gonna push harder, you're gonna work harder. When I was starting up until now, I always had big and grand plans for myself. I always, above and beyond that, had goals that I wanted to hit. I wanted to make. Even up until now, medyo nag-shift lang yung goals. Maybe when I was starting out, I wanted to get this amount by this age. Ganun. Ngayon, iba na. There are certain milestones that you want to get na hindi na pera yung tina-target mo na tamaan. There are certain things that you want to hit that parang when you hit that, it makes you it gives you a sense of joy, a sense of accomplishment as well. Always be forward looking, always have a goal. Aside from being forward looking and having a goal, be a dreamer, that what you see on the outside does not have to impact you in the inside, that it could be so bad financially, but always know that it's gonna turn better. And I say this to all of you watching as someone who is most likely older than you. If you are a younger millennial and a Gen Z person watching this, I really hope that this inspires you, that wherever you are right now, to think right, look at things based on how God sees yourself, work hard, get a stable source of income, budget your money, save. In between those two, if you don't have to get into debt, don't get into debt. Wag na mangutang pag hindi naman talaga kailangan mangutang. Then try to get extra sources of income. Then as you start getting sources of income, save and invest that even more. Do that over and over and over until it builds your base. And as it builds your base, check if that is enough also, that maybe you don't have to work anymore, but you just have to focus on the things that you're passionate about. You can just focus on businesses, advocacies, or hustles that it becomes so real to you. What's interesting there is when you can make your side hustle your main hustle, that's something that's so good. So there, I hope you guys got a lot from this. I hope that this is something that's interesting for all of you. I'm gonna share more of this. If you guys have any questions on how I did it, my backstory, or any other topic that may be interesting to you, put them in the comment section. Slide a DM via Patreon or Instagram, and I'm gonna try to see how I can make videos on top of that as well. And for those who want to know more about me, in the description below are my seminars, which we're having a Zoom course for stock trading and investing this February, my books, which is available via Shopee, and lastly, aside from my books, a lot of videos that we have in YouTube aimed to help you grow as an investor, as a person that's moving towards financial freedom. I really believe that more and more people deserve to be financially free. I really believe that you deserve to be financially free. But I really also believe that you don't need to start to have millions in order for you to reach your goals of financial freedom. And I guess I'll say this also, you just need to be patient. When I was starting out, it was never a rush for me, and whatever you see right here, right now, it took some time. Matagal din naman siya eh. Pinaka-importante, pasensya. And I'm not where I want to be also. As you progress in life, there will be certain milestones, and as you hit that, you build more milestones. And I'll say that also to all of you. Never stop dreaming, never stop believing. When you hit something, always continue to push yourself, bring yourself higher, grow, make yourself uncomfortable. If you want to be comfortable at any point in your life, you have to do the things that make you uncomfortable, because there's comfort in discomfort. Real comfort is knowing that you are at a point where you are out of your comfort zone doing the things that you love. And I hope that this helps you, this inspires you, and above all, this helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.